Hey everybody, it's Kat Caracelo from Journey Path Institute, and I am here to re-engage with my weekly messages and topics. And this particular message is inspired by a few things. I've been traveling and took a little bit of a break, led a retreat overseas in the UK, and then took a little time to travel. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is traveling out and traveling in. This idea of moving out into the world and expanding and stretching and getting some excitement and inspiration from others and from other places is brilliant. But also how we can come home to ourselves and start to cultivate a new relationship with home. I've been leading Alice Tales and Ruby Shoes, and we are now in the final parts of that journey. And the message of there's no place like home. But what is home? And how does home happen? And how do we create home? And this is such a big topic because sometimes you might feel that things are beautiful and easy at home, and sometimes they're not easy at home, and home doesn't even feel like home. And you wonder where you belong, and is home elusive? Is home hiding? And so, how do we create space to come home to ourselves is a beautiful way to spend some time and do some depth work. What is home? Where is home? And how do you create home? So when I've been out traveling, and often, in the last maybe 10 or 12 years, maybe 15 years, I've spent a lot of time traveling. But for 20 years before that, I actually didn't travel at all. And I'd had a wonderful sort of sense of armchair traveling, traveling from home, traveling, dreaming. I did a lot of dreaming. I did a lot of traveling in night dreams and traveling in creative ways. But also the idea that I could start to spin stories from that space of home and create enough energy traveling intrigued me, so that I didn't need to go out and I couldn't go out. And there are a lot of times in our life when we can travel, and there are a lot of times in our life when we decide, this isn't what I'm doing right now, and I'm gonna create more from this home base. And there's a tremendous value in that and creating more space to travel from within your center, from where you land, from where you live. One of the really important ways that I also want to acknowledge traveling is through embodiment and movement and the articulation of, or the stretch of the language of how you move within your life. And even for us who are introverts, which I am rather hermetic, sort of a hermit and semi-introverted, and choose pretty carefully, where my outward energy lives, and create a lot more space for my energy inside my life. And for those of us and those of you who also feel like, yeah, I'm kind of a hermit, I'm kind of with Kat, traveling from within your center is so brilliant and powerful and potent. It also is especially useful if things have been challenging or you're feeling flat. You're needing to invite and invigorate some energy. And sometimes that desire, that wanderlust starts to activate when you want to make a change. And I love the creative process as a catalyst for doing that too. In fact, the upcoming Restoring the Sacred Body, which is our next 9-week deep dive, small group process for global travelers who are coming together to circle in as sisters in the work, but also, live where you live in your life. I think that this is a brilliant way to actually expand the horizons and travel out from the center. And we're going to be working with embodiment and movement and energy and different body realms and awarenesses, the astral body, the subtle body, the embodiment, the organs, the fascia, the chakra stories, all kinds of different layers of conversations about the body, including sensing where stories may be stuck within the body and how they could be released, but all to energize the potential of your next steps. If the steps are slow, if something isn't working as well as you would hope it would. I have hip tendonitis right now, and my hips get a little stuck, and I, recognize I need to create some tenderness, some care. I need to turn my attention to those parts of my body that may be struggling and ask some questions of how that is informing me. In fact, there was one part of my life when I had a complete breakdown. The body sort of started, it was like the tower falling in the tarot. And I called it the herniation of my life because I was so burned out and so stressed out. And I herniated a disc in my back and had to wait a long time for surgery. And it really was an abruption. It was a dynamic change. I mean, some of you may feel, wow, there's been a dynamic change. There's been an abruption in my life. There's been a herniation and a change that I need to give some space to, some time to. Now, that doesn't mean that you're stuck there forever, even though sometimes it can feel like that. We've got to travel within our circumstances and make space for what is going well and what is not going well equally. And so this traveling out to escape, which I've done, some of us love to do, and wanderlust can take us away from challenges. But how can we come home to ourselves and make space to be with what is? And also explore our stories and restory our stories. Restorative healing is a full participation sport. It's an intersection of what is and what is becoming, what is coming close, what is possible, what is real, what can be realized within our circumstances. So there's something so potent, so precious about coming home and making home and recognizing the sacred home that the body provides and also the space that surrounds us and how we can create more vitality within our body, within our soul home or the space in which we live, how we can change our walls, how we can populate our space with new stories, and how we can create places to travel that are incredibly accessible. In fact, we're going to fly and move through the inner body to explore different limbs and different spaces within the body. We're going to move the armor of the body, remove the armor of the body, and see that soft animal self that lives within our soul. When we work with chakra stories, we're going to be working with areas of the body that hold different stories, and we're going to identify chakra stories in body mapping, big art. And 9 weeks is needed for this deep dive because there are going to be different chapters and different ways that we're exploring our stories. So I do love that there's something new on the horizon, something brand new that I've never brought to a group. We have a fabulous, small, intimate group of women, and this is really going to be exciting. So I do hope that you'll join me. In terms of coming back and having taken a little bit of break, and now I'm here having this wonderful opportunity to connect. The mythopoetic life is what calls to me. And I wonder, what you're feeling about your own personal myths, what you're feeling about traveling along a thread of a mythic energy, or how that poetic sense of connecting is drawing you in, and where you want to take that. There's a little bit of me that just, the day I got back, I sort of went into the garden, and in a sense, I love the summer, to kind of strip down and embed myself in the garden. It's just a wonderful way that I love spending time. And it's very hot where I live. And I've come, full circle from sort of the coolness of the UK. And then I'm coming back to the heat of Austin, but there's something sultry about that. And I spend different hours of the day in different places. And so I'm up early and enjoying the garden in the morning. And there's something really wonderful about stepping into that sense of how I want to spend my summer. And one of the ways I want to spend my summer is landed. I want to spend my summer at home, in my home, in this home space with my sacred body, restoring the sacred body, restoring my home, and restoring this space of living. So if you are also feeling like that this summer, that might be a wonderful way to create and start to think about the mythopoetic way you live inside your life. So I can't wait to connect next week. I thought I'd drop in, say hello, and I'm back. And I hope to see you in upcoming class. And I hope to connect with you soon. So sending love.